out there, the Fed could print over 20 trillion a year and not exceed 10% of the money supply. And that isn't hyperinflation. And then for hyperinflation to occur, the second thing has to occur. You got to have some kind of automatic indexing, automatic way for common people to raise their income to keep pace with inflation. Otherwise, you don't ever accumulate full of $100 bills that are worthless because you don't have any way to get those excess dollars.
That's right. They have been expert at creating real depressions in the economy so that people never become wealthy enough to actually accumulate the excess dollars. That said, though, I do see real inflation in some of the goods and services out there. And I don't think if the economy wasn't contracting that they'd be able to stop inflation. I'm no economist. I just simply see them with their different computer models managing things, and I just wonder how long this can go on, Joel.
Yeah, I think actually can keep it going on a lot longer than we think. For example, the purpose of the zero debt policy is to keep the debt crisis from coming to a head. They can postpone that till after 2030 by keeping interest rates near zero, because that means that the interest on the debt does not accumulate faster. If they keep inflation, and John Williams is right, real inflation is between 6 and 7 to 8% now. If they can keep it that way, there won't be a hyperinflation. If they want to go, you start to have an inflation mentality where people want to get rid of their dollars, want to buy something, it would heat up the economy. But most people could not keep pace. That creates stagflation like we have in the 70s, where people can't afford to buy. They stop buying. If gas went to $10, people would stop buying again. And so the Fed shows every sign of, in fact, being very, very cautious to not let inflation get over it. They've got the advantage also in that there's a great deal of deflationary forces going on right now in the economy, which is balancing out. I think inflation would probably be 12 to 14% if it weren't for the deflationary.
That's what I was just getting at, just from a layman's perspective. So, Joel Skousen, let me ask you this question. Geopolitically, how are things going for the Anglo-American power bloc versus the other blocs? Because we have numbers out, 4 out of 10 Americans are one bill from disaster, CBS News. I mean, in the real economy, we've been in a recession / unequally distributed depression for a long time. But in certain corporate jobs or certain government jobs, people are still doing quite well. So it seems like they've created a new artificial class system.
That is exactly right. We have a selective recession right now. There's a lot of people with a lot of money. You look at the stock market, over 18,000 now. This is the money in the big speculative economy. These people get nearly free from the Fed that they can invest in these speculative economies and make 15 to 20%. Why should they invest in a lot of money being spread around the economy? The movie houses are full, the restaurants are full, and yet there's 20% real unemployment. But even that isn't like the Depression, where you have 25%. In the Depression, nobody had any reserves. There wasn't anything, as in today's world. You've got food stamps, you've got unemployment compensation, you've got relatives to live with. People have 3 or 4 televisions, they've got 2 or 3 cars. There's a tremendous amount of reserves in this economy after 40, 50 years of inflation that is, in fact, making it more resistant to the dire things that happened in
That's right. We've been such a wealthy nation that there's a lot of stores of wealth. People are living with their parents longer. But if you look at the demographic trends, and if you look at the savings of younger people, I do see this coming to a cataclysmic collapse somewhere down the road. I mean, it can't go on forever.
That is correct, Alex. It can't go on forever. The key is, can the powers that be, can the Fed keep milking the bailouts along? And can they keep managing the money supply along until war comes? You see, then they escape the blame for this.
All right, Joel, your Skype's breaking up really bad all of a sudden. We're going to keep you on video Skype, but dial you on the telephone as we go to break here. We're going to come back with Joel Skousen. This is really important information. He's talking about what we have is a computerized, technocratic, organized economy. And as Google and all these systems get more and more into our lives, they're going to be able to game the system that much more. But in my view, the best laid plans of mice and men often go awry, and I see it only being a bigger implosion and spectacular crisis when it comes. Stay with us.
Attention Alex Jones listeners. When you're on the road or have limited data or Wi-Fi, now you can listen to Alex Jones unfiltered and untapped at no extra charge on this non-federal phone number, 1-605-562-5136. Try it now to listen to Alex Jones 24/7 at no extra cost or data charges. These are not on federal lines. These are lines located on Indian reservations off the grid. Call 1-605-562-5136. No smartphones or internet needed. To hear Alex Jones untapped and off the grid, just call 1-605-562-5136.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow. A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
As the New World Order continues to tighten its grip on every facet of our lives, we're all asking ourselves, how can we maintain our independence? The answer is clear. Get prepared, and you get prepared now. Now the only question left is, where do we begin? My Patriot Supply is here to help. Call 800-247-3070 to get started with your 72-hour emergency food supply for only $10. We're even covering the cost of shipping. Are you willing to rely on the government and FEMA in the event of an emergency? Call 800-274-3070 to get started with your 72-hour emergency food supply for only $10. You won't be able to find this deal online, and there is a strict limit of 4 per caller, so don't wait. Call now, 800-274-3070. That's 800-274-3070. Call right now.
Used since before the days of the Roman Empire to support the body's natural systems and enhance overall health. Introducing the new InfoWarsLife.com oil of oregano formulation, a highly advanced nutraceutical form of this key herb that has been traditionally used by civilizations for thousands of years to promote health. We have now procured the most high quality and potent forms of oregano oil on the market, sourced from top leading manufacturers to ensure a concentrated level of bioactive ingredients. Extracted directly from the wild herb and sealed in easy-to-use capsules, you will no longer need to endure the burning of liquid oregano on the tongue. Wild crafted from the Mediterranean oregano species that experts agree is one of the most powerful and most challenging to acquire. This winter season, it's more important than ever to secure this true form of oil of oregano. Now available in our limited first run at InfoWarsLife.com. That's InfoWarsLife.com or call 888-253-3139.
Are you hungry for delicious, nutritious, rich, and satisfying home-cooked meals? Discover the Vita Clay 4-in-1 Smart Organic Cooker. Unglazed Zisha clay, an ancient secret that makes this fast multi-cooker so special. Infusing your food with incredible flavors, perfect texture, vitamins, and minerals for your good health. It's a slow cooker, rice cooker, a steamer, plus a yogurt maker. Go to VitaClayChef.com and enter promo code RADIO20 for 20% off at checkout. That's VitaClayChef.com.
Hear that? That's the sound of a house being trashed while a gang of thieves ransack the place. And what they don't steal will be destroyed.
This year, resolve not to be the next victim of a break-in. Go to faketv.com and discover a device that creates the illusion someone inside is watching TV, even when you're miles away. Security is a mindset, and Fake TV should be part of your security solution. Be vigilant, but not fearful. faketv.com.
Alex Jones here, back live. Joel Skousen of World Affairs Brief is our guest, the editor of World Affairs Brief. Your phone calls are lining up. Brandon, Judy, Ben, Wayne, and others. I want to talk about the moral decline, why the establishment has engineered it, and where this country is in the future. And the huge preparations for civil oppression we see going on. We'll do that in the next segment. But getting into Russia, getting into the Middle East, the ISIS threat, clearly created and given a safe harbor by the West, the different power vacuums that are being battled over by Iran, by Saudi Arabia. Are we really at war with ISIS? Is it blowback? Has it gotten out of control? Or is there something bigger? I want to get Joel Skousen's take on that. Joel?
Well, thanks, Alex. ISIS is, as you said, a Western intelligence engineered crisis. Essentially, Al-Qaeda was becoming old hat. Everyone was claiming to be Al-Qaeda, and nothing was ever happening domestically to cross the border. I've questioned that for years. If we had real terrorism and we got a wide open border with Mexico, what's keeping Al-Qaeda from coming across the border daily and blowing up electrical pylons or blowing themselves up in malls? And what's keeping ISIS from coming over to do that? It's just unexplainable, except for the fact that these these terrorist organizations at the top, at least, are controlled by the governments, and they are not giving orders to do so. And the reason is that it would get in the way of the social agenda of engineering a Democratic majority through millions of Latinos crossing the border. If we had terrorism coming across the border, the Americans would demand that shut that border down immediately. And that's why they're not allowing terrorism to come across. They control to the top. They don't control necessarily. The normal terrorist doesn't know that the top leadership's controlled by the U.S. intelligence, British intelligence, working through Israeli Mossad agents, Arab agents trained by Israel. But that's really the reality of what we're doing here. And all of these ISIS videos are staged. I mean, this latest one was just a joke with the 20 so-called Christians beheaded. You see these ISIS characters in black almost towering a third the height over these supposed, Christian.
That's right. We've looked at it. It's blue screen. Even Wired Magazine 6-7 years ago had to come out and admit their video analysts looked at the In-Q-Tel videos they were releasing of Adam Gadon, the son of the head of the ADL, who's supposedly the leader of Al-Qaeda now, a Jewish Al-Qaeda member. And the Al-Qaeda video was put out in the Pentagon video layer with their logo. It was the same produced video at the same time.
Yeah, these are professionally produced videos by Western video experts. Terrorists don't have these kinds of capabilities to do this. Really, the reason for creating ISIS was, as I think I've explained before on your show, very carefully, Israel has been tasked by the globalists ever since 2004 to attack Iran. They've said we can't do it until you take down Syria. 2 years ago, they were set to take down Syria with that no-fly zone. That's when Kerry made the mistake in the London press conference by when a reporter asked him, is there anything that Syria can do to evade this? He said, well, sure, they could give up their chemical weapons. And wham, Syria and Russia said, we accept. And all of a sudden, in one mistake, Kerry derailed the entire rationale for going into Syria. So that's when they began to create ISIS in order to justify a backdoor approach to getting into Syria. We create a new terrorist organization. Basically, they divided the rebels in Syria to two groups. Say, you're going to be the existing rebels, and you're going to be the new group called ISIS, and we'll set you off into Iraq, but you come from Syria, so we'll have an excuse to get back into Syria to attack ISIS.
And now they're announcing all of that, and we talked about this last year and predicted it. It's now happening. It also throws the military off, the rank and file, who were really getting upset 2 years ago about openly backing al-Qaeda. Now they have a reason to go back in the region. Oh, and while we're at it, call in airstrikes for the good Syrian rebels. So exactly as we said they would do it, they're now doing it.
That's right. They've got Turkey involved in direct shipping of arms and ammunition and funds and things to both sides, ISIS and the so-called moderate rebels. They're all controlled by Western intelligence through Israeli agents who are peppered the area with very highly trained Arab Muslim radicals that they've trained to go in and direct these things and to be the recipients of various funds. So this is a very directed false flag attack of ISIS. But it is still meant to keep Americans diverted from the real crisis in the future, which is Russia and China, as they continue to build for a strike against the West. I do not believe that Ukraine is going to trigger that directly. I think this is a 3 or 4 year process.
All right, stay there. We got to go to break. Long segment coming up. We'll segue into the detonator for World War III. Is it Ukraine? Is it North Korea? What's really happening in Ukraine? Joel Skousen's expert opinion. He knows what he's talking about, folks. We'll be right back and take your phone calls. I'm Alex Jones.